Thank you, Ranga. Mr. Mike Nithivrianakis, Deputy High Commissioner, United Kingdom, members in the dais, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a privilege to be here as part of the jury. We had a wonderful jury. I'd like to first thank the awards committee for choosing the jury panel, an outstanding panel. As you heard before, this is the second edition of the Emerging Entrepreneur Award. The first edition 2 years ago was purely at Tamil Nadu level, and this year it's a regional level. Entrepreneurship, I believe, is a very key national requirement. There are many who feel, economists who feel, that the main reason for India's growth over the past 2 years is entrepreneurship in private sector, because the government has been through difficulties in raising GDP growth. So I believe celebrating these emerging entrepreneurs are crucial for the nation. I believe a committee feels most satisfied when their awardees outdo their dreams. The first set of awardees which we did offer in Tamil Nadu did outdo their dreams, and that makes the committee very satisfied. And I'm sure the winners today and the awardees today, looking back 2 years later, will definitely outperform what we think they will achieve. As you heard earlier, the jury spent a lot of time reading the exhaustive material of the awardees. We met together twice and also on teleconference many times. I'd like, as chairman of the jury, thank all the members for their time, their focused job in hand, and choosing winners among all the winners. I must also place on record the diligent work carried out by a knowledge partner, Grant Thornton. They had insights from global learnings coupled with learnings from our own first edition of awards. This insight helped the committee. Hindu Business Line, as mentioned earlier, was with them right throughout. They did the first level of screening, joined by the awards committee, and chose 36 finalists, I believe. They then interviewed, did a detailed profile them, in addition did a brief video interview with the finalists and presented to the jury. As Venu said, you can learn a lot from video interviews because it really gives insight into the person's thinking. The jury then deliberated on the criteria such as vision, execution, excellence, innovativeness, personal leadership skills, ethics, and of course the most important, ability to scale. I hope that this process of celebrating entrepreneurship will in the future promote more entrepreneurship, and as I said earlier, will help the nation. I'm also sure, as Ashok said, that in future, that these awards moving from state to regional will also become pan-India, and we have Mr. Gopal Krishnan here, who leads CII in the years to come, and I'm sure he will consider this in his years. I'd like to conclude by congratulating all the winners, all of them who participated, and also especially those among whom we are recognizing today. Thank you once again. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mr. N. Kumar. May I request Mr. Mike, Deputy High Commissioner, the Chief Guest of the day, to share his views, please.
Kumar, Chris, Ashok, Mr. Ramaraj, Venu, CK, Sujit, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honour for me to be here as British Deputy High Commissioner in South India for this awards ceremony. I'd like to thank very much all of the organisers and the jury. It was clearly a very exhaustive but important process, transparent and objective. And I'm one of the lucky people who was at the awards ceremony a couple of years ago when there were awards given to specifically entrepreneurs from Tamil Nadu. And if you look at the excellent feature that Hindu Business Line did on Wednesday, featuring some of the shortlisted nominees for today's awards, on the back page there's a nice picture of the award winners from 2010. And I think, as Kumar was saying, look at some of those companies and how they've progressed in the last couple of years. I'm lucky enough to personally know several of those award winners, and certainly TVS Logistics, led by R. Dinesh, Take Solutions, led by HR Srinivasan. I mean, these are companies that are doing extremely well in their home market, but are investing internationally. Both of those companies are big British investors and have very successful acquisitions that they're extremely happy with. Vasan Eye Care, Dr. Arun was another award winner. Look at the size of Vasan Eye Care today compared to 2 years ago and the speed with which it's growing. And I'm sure, as Kumar mentioned, a couple of years from now, not just the award winners, but many of the nominees will be spoken in the same sentiment about the success that they have achieved. I thought the business line feature was really excellent. I think it captured some of the brilliant work that's going on among entrepreneurs in South India, and I was delighted to see companies represented from Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and indeed Kochi in Kerala. I hope when the award ceremony takes place next year, we might see companies from Coimbatore or Mangalore or Vishakhapatnam, not just from the metros and the state capitals, because that, to me, speaks volumes about the vibrancy of South India, which, as you all know, is relatively more prosperous than virtually the rest of India, grows faster, has higher literacy levels, better English language training, stronger human development indices. And it's a matter of great pride to me that I'm not posted to the capital of India, Delhi. I'm here in Chennai, representing the British government at what I think is the most exciting part of India, the most vibrant and the most dynamic. And it's an area that the UK wants to do even more in. We have a Deputy High Commission, a large one here in Chennai. We have a small Deputy High Commission office in Bangalore, which essentially covers trade and investment and science and innovation issues. And we have a trade office in Hyderabad. But it's our ambition to increase our footprint across India, but particularly in the south. And we are talking to the Indian government about doing that. And I hope that the next time CII is kind enough to invite me to speak at an event, I'll be able to announce some new locations that we might be working from that will help, I hope, strengthen the already warm and close relationship that exists between the UK and South India. I was talking earlier to Kumar actually about the fear of failure that sometimes presents itself to entrepreneurs. And I think it's a very striking fact that in a country like the United States, over the last several decades, lots of people will attempt startup companies and don't necessarily have the same worry about failing that might exist certainly in my country, the UK, and perhaps also here in India. And that's maybe a culture that's difficult to change. But I thought I might just relate to you a story that I heard last week. I was very lucky to be able to meet Mr. Abhinav Bindra, who is India's only ever gold medalist at an Olympic Games, individual gold medalist. Of course, you've won the hockey lots of times, but not for more than 30 years now. But Abhinav Bindra won the gold medal in shooting at the Beijing Olympics in 2008, and he was in Chennai last week at an event that we hosted for him. And he was talking about going to the Athens Olympic Games in 2004, which were actually his second Olympics because he participated as a teenager in Sydney and not expecting to challenge the medal winners in Sydney. But when he went to Athens, as I understand it, he was one of the favourites. And he didn't, unfortunately, succeed in Athens. It was a very upsetting event for him because his preparation, he says, was slightly put off because obviously shooting is a very technical sport, and he was on not a particularly flat platform when he was shooting. And I was a bit embarrassed being half Greek. These Olympic Games were being hosted by Greece, and I thought, trust the Greeks to get it wrong for Abhinav Bindra in 2004. Anyway, it all came right in 2008, but what he had to say was very striking, where, of course, he was incredibly honoured to win the gold medal for him personally, for all of the people who'd helped him, and for the country of India. But he had learnt a very hard way to deal with failure, to move on from it, and to sort of redouble his efforts. And I think I would say there are some read across between life in the sporting field and life in business. I mean, I think the one great thing about sports is it can teach you great life experiences. And I hope for entrepreneurs out there who try it once and maybe don't succeed the first time, not to give up and not to let that sense of disappointment overcome you and change your focus, because the people I am lucky enough to meet in this part of India are incredibly entrepreneurial. That's why I enjoy my job here so much, but not just in Chennai. When I get to travel to other parts of the south, including in the Tier 2 cities, where there are incredibly vibrant, innovative companies, and I would urge people in the audience, people who might be considering to nominate themselves or a friend for an awards ceremony in the future to do so, because I think the awards winners that you saw from 2010, the people we will be hearing from today, can provide a real inspiration to other companies to think about that grand idea and try to bring it to the market and put it into reality. Can I just conclude by congratulating again all of the organisers and the jury panel. I'm lucky enough to know personally virtually every member of the jury, and I know from several of them how focused they were on getting the decisions right and considering the many high quality nominees. I'd also like to pay tribute to Mr. T.T. Ashok, who is coming towards the end of his tenure as chairman of the southern region of CII. I think he's done a fantastic job, and I think the Confederation... I do think that the Confederation of Indian Industries actually sets the benchmark for a trade and industry body in terms of the events it holds, the activities it undertakes, and the effort it goes into to reach far and wide in delivering excellent programs. And I think everybody knows that CII is a very strong organisation in India, but CII is particularly strong in the south, and that's why it's a body that we are very happy to partner organisations in. Finally, to all of you who are here, either as a nominee, later I hope as an award winner, or supporting one of the nominees, and I can see that we've got some very young entrepreneurs in the audience indeed. Very many congratulations to you. I hope that you will think very carefully about your company's expansion plans, because one of the striking things for me as British Deputy High Commissioner is to note how ambitious Indian companies are to reach new markets, and certainly those companies that have been award winners who have a presence in the United States or the United Kingdom have become even more successful as a result of doing so. And so investing in other countries, I think, will be a way of sharing your expertise and lessons that you've drawn from your lives in South India. And I think you have something to teach us in the UK about some of the entrepreneurial activities you have been involved in. Congratulations again to all of you, and thank you.